So back far in the dark mists of time that was my childhood, I was gifted by a friend at school 5 extremely poorly painted plastic road trader Space Marines. So bad in fact that their chapter logo was painted with Tipp-Ex. Now to many of you, what I just said will not mean very much of anything, but to anyone acquainted with the 40k universe, you will know that those figures sparked for me a lifelong love for one of the most now expansive hobbies, that of the universe that is Warhammer 40,000. Now, in the past weeks, for a reason that I'm unsure of, I found myself drawn back towards the staggeringly detailed lore of Warhammer 40,000. I'm passionate about it for reasons that I can't really pin down. Most likely, I think it's just because I love detailed science fiction and I have huge nostalgia for it. But I thought today I'd give you a brief, and when I say brief I mean in a Luton sort of brief, overview on what Warhammer 40k is, for those of you that are uninitiated, because it's pretty complicated and a few guys have sort of messaged me on Twitter and said, what the hell is this, never seen it, and maybe I can spark a new interest for you in this ever expanding universe. 40k is set in the time period of the late 41st millennium. More specifically, the current date there is estimated to be around the year 40,999 AD. Now we are currently in the year 2014, just about to go 2015. This means that Warhammer 40,000 is set 38,985 years into the future. So pretty far, and pretty amazing that humanity could survive to that period in time. But the game and the fiction revolves around the Imperium of mankind. This is a galactic-spanning interstellar empire and the ultimate authority for humanity in the 41st millennium. The Imperium is in a state of perpetual, unending war with the Xenos at this time. Now the Xenos are not a race, though rather they are a designation of all life that is not humanity. In this time, mankind has risen to a level of belief in itself with such dark arrogance due to its technological advancements that it believes all non-humanoid life is inferior and so seeks to purge it from the universe. There was a time when humanity felt safe in the universe, but due to the way in which we exploited and overused our technology, and there is a whole history around this due to it's the dark age of technology. At this time we were sort of living more comfortably with the aliens in the universe, but now that time has passed and we are in a constant state of war and trying to purge them, get rid of them, push them out, because we are on a much narrower brink of survival. So as the title of the franchise suggests, in this future it really is a universe of grim darkness. There are vast history tomes of lore detailing the Imperium of mankind, its wars and technological advances, as well as the other races and contingents of the universe. Now depending on how well this video is received and engaged by you guys, my audience, I would happily cover more of this history in detail if you guys enjoy and support it. I would love to read through and narrative create and sort of work around that sort of stuff. I would love to do that. Now let's get back to it. The Imperium of Man. It's a vast and ancient war-torn empire spanning the known universe. For 10,000 years it has been ruled by the deathless godlike Emperor, a humanoid leader of almost limitless psychic power, to whom thousands of souls are sacrificed daily as he lies incarcerated in his golden throne sarcophagus on Earth. The multiple billions of ordinary citizens of the Imperium live in a place where war is a way of life. Demons and horrific aliens are real, and death is a constant. The Imperium faces threats continually from the alien or Xenos races. These are Orcs, Tyranids, Eldar, Dark Eldar, Tau, Necrons, and the most hated demons and traitorous forces of chaos. And the first line of defense are the Imperial Guard. They serve as the Imperium of Man's primary combat force against the many threats to the existence of the human race in the late 41st millennium. It is comprised of countless billions of men and women, hundreds of thousands of regiments, supported by a vast array of light and heavy armoured vehicles that provide the Guard's primary offensive force. As is often the case, technology is mankind's true power in the 41st millennium. The Imperial Guard rely primarily on their numbers and their heavy armour support to be effective in overwhelming the enemy, while simultaneously pounding them into submission. They are, however, simply humans, and facing up against the nightmares of the future, they are, without their armoured support, weak and will often suffer heavy losses against the more advanced races. Now, in stark contrast to the Imperial Guard are the elite troops of mankind that you will have heard of probably already, the Space Marines. They are genetically engineered superhumans and the defenders of humanity. They stand some 8 feet tall, encased in their ancient power armor, incredibly strong in combat, and it also enables them to survive almost any environment, even the vacuum of space. Space Marines are untouched by plague or any natural disease and can survive wounds that would kill a lesser being several times over. They form groups known as chapters, which are self-contained armies of fanatical defenders of the Imperium and religiously devoted to the Emperor of mankind. For all this though, the Space Marines walk a fine line between serving humanity and being enveloped by hubris, for their demigod-like abilities often leave them to see ordinary humans as weak, frail, and an obstacle sometimes to them achieving the greater goal of eradicating threats to the Imperium. Now, this has on many occasions caused Space Marine chapters to fall into darkness and turn against humanity as their arrogance consumes them, a common theme among the highly advanced state that mankind has risen to at this time. However, despite this, they are the true final guardians of mankind, the saviours, but not to lead humanity but to defend it, at times even from itself and those who would seek to corrupt it. Now, I should point out that this merely scratches the surface of the details surrounding the Imperium and the Space Marines. I could talk for hours about the Space Marines. To go deeper, we can talk about the Inquisition, the Order of Assassins, Horus Heresy, Forge Worlds, Titans, the Great Crusade, Hive Worlds, Primarchs, Unification Wars. There are literally hundreds of topics, histories, details that you can speak of, all of which come together to create one of the most detailed and imaginative and expansive futurist histories which form Warhammer 40,000. Now, that is my very concise overview of the crux of 40k. Now, as a young kid, when I was a boy, when I was a child, you can imagine how unbelievably overwhelming and imaginative this was for me. It was so encompassing, and at that time when gaming wasn't as big as it was now in many respects, this was something, tabletop gaming, that I really got into. You know, the whole universe and the models and everything, it was so exciting, so fun, and it really kind of got your mind going, you know, your imagination running. You know, you really can believe, like, when you're fighting these things out. Now, I really want to see what the reaction to me speaking about the universe is, and if it's received well, I really want to make more videos. I could even do videos of me painting and converting real models if people want to see that, and I'll link a picture from my Twitter where I posted a picture of an Eldar avatar that I posted quite a while back. Actually, I painted that ages ago. You guys know that my actual profession is a designer illustrator, and so my painting ability is pretty good, but it's got to be said, a lot of my models that I painted up for 40k, I painted some 15, maybe 20 years ago, so a lot of my models really need some refinement, because I looked back through them and I was like, damn, some of these are shoddy, you know, they really need some professional refinement. So I think one thing I'm going to do is get some of my models and really finish them to a high level, and then I might, you know, post some pictures of that or talk around them or something along those lines. Now, for me, one of the most exciting things about the 40k universe is just how expansive it is. It gives you almost limitless potential for where the series could go in terms of game making. There is such a vast sphere of lore. You could make almost any game from it. Narrative, RTS, turn-based, FPS, MMO, RPG, survival horror, sandbox. There are so many paths that it could travel. And that's what really brings me back to the series time and time again, is the limitless potential. It's sad to say, though, that it's often the case that just take a look back at things like the Alien franchise, and it's something that, you know, it's just, you can have a really strong franchise there or a really strong narrative, but then it just somehow doesn't deliver. And when you look back to 40k titles that have existed, just not many that are fantastic come to mind. They've been okay for sure, but just not, you know, they're not on the level that your imagination can create. But now we are entering into a new age of gaming, where we really can create whatever our imagination can conjure with astonishing levels of detail and, you know, scale. Now also, Total Biscuit pointed out this year that the license for 40k has been tendered more loosely than it had been previously, and this may well not be a good thing. It may lead to poor titles, shovelware and stuff like that. However, it also could mean we see more independent creations, and this could be a very positive thing indeed, because if there's one thing independent games capitalize on, and that is imagination. Given the sheer volume of lore available for 40k, there are very strong foundations to give rise to some quality titles. The Space Marine title developed by Relic in 2011 was one of the best to date, and even if it didn't gain universal acclaim, in fact, despite generally positive reviews, it wasn't a strong out-and-out winner of a game. But it was a huge step in the right direction, and if you haven't played it, it's been out long enough and it's been on sale regularly. I would recommend that have a look at that as a first step. So guys, please let me know what you think about Warhammer 40,000 in the comments below. Are you a big fan of this series? Have you never heard of it, but this has piqued your interest? Would you like me to speak more about the lore of the game? Some painting and modelling videos maybe? Gameplay? Tell me in the comments. I have such a huge passion for 40k, and it's a universe that I've known for like a large proportion of my life. If you guys enjoy it as well, I would love to make more content around it. But as you have seen with other stuff lately, this is a video I've got to make talking about separately, right? But in short, my time is stretched. I work full time. YouTube is not my job. So the time that I put into videos, it has to be a successful video for the channel in order for me to support it. If you guys want to see stuff on this channel, you've got to support it, because if you don't support it, I can't continue to do it on the channel, on this channel anyway. I have Looting Gaming, that's a separate, kettle of fish. But on here, if you've got to support it, or I can't do it. So it's just a matter of that. I have to choose specifically what to put on the channel. You've seen lately with Armour. Armour has gotten great support here on the channel, so I am doing more of it because people want to see that stuff. I would love to do more Warhammer 40,000 videos, even if it's just one a week. But, if you guys don't support it, if you don't like it up, if you don't comment, if you don't get involved, it's just not going to be strong enough for me on the channel. So get involved. Tell me what you think. This is Luton. I'll see you next time.
Hold the line.